There's going to be white people that agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be white people that don't agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be black people that agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be black people that don't agree to what I'm saying.
As far as I see it, I'm happy to be alive. Catch my vibe, baby, tell me what you into. Catch my vibe like the ringer when you call through. When you alone, baby, you know when I come through. Promote the positive, don't speak on negative, and keep it real. The social media be fucking up the kids. Meanwhile, I like the picture of a thick bitch. Guess I'm a victim of the system. All working, no plate, I'm gonna cut it. Trying to work the overtime.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, The Randall Son on YouTube. Thank you. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button to make my channel just grow and get bigger and better and all that good stuff. Also, if you're not following me on IG, go ahead and pause this video, search me up on Instagram. That is Randall_Son44. And also, if you're on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter too, at RandallSon44. Now, with that being said, since you're clicking on this video already, you already know the title and the subject matter of this video. But before I get into that, I want to talk about some more important news, which is like COVID-19 right now, which is still surging in the Americas right now. So I ask for all my people who are watching this, make sure you are washing your hands frequently. And if you are going out in public places, to wear a mask to protect yourself and other people. So we're all just being safe. Make it safer and a healthier environment for other people who are prone to have severe actions if they do come in contact with it. All right, so moving forward. So wash your hands, wear a mask. Also, still keep an eye out and watch these officials, elected officials, and how they're handling policies and stuff right now. The police reform bill has not been passed yet through the Senate, so keep your eye out and see who's making noise and who is not, and who is voting yay or nay on what bill, because all that stuff is important. And it's voting year. November is close, so make sure you guys go out there, vote and early vote if you can, and stay active. That being said, moving on to the podcast talk, which I haven't gave it a title yet, but since you're watching, it already has a title. So if you're not aware of what's been going on in the news lately, as far as celebrities as Ice Cube, DeSean Jackson, and just a recent Nick Cannon have been in the news virally for making comments that came off as anti-Semitic. The first being Ice Cube about a month ago, where he had actually tweeted a few photos that had raised eyebrows for a lot of people, especially in the Jewish community, labeling him as anti-Semitic. He caught a lot of wind, and they almost took his Twitter away, his Twitter privileges away. Weeks later, just about 2 weeks ago, DeSean Jackson had I think he had put on Instagram a photo of him quoting Hitler, in which he thought he was quoting Hitler, but he wasn't. And it was a quote. I'm not going to say what the quote was, but it came off as anti-Semitic too as well, in which he has apologized and taken down the post. Now recently, just 2 days ago, Nick Cannon has gone viral for a video podcast that he has on YouTube called Cannon's Class. And on his podcast, his guest was Professor Griff. Professor Griff is a former member of the 90s hip-hop rap group Public Enemy, which he actually had to leave the group because of some anti-Semitic comments that he had made back then. But what made the highlight was this 2-minute clip that went viral of the podcast, of which where they catch in conversation explaining melanin and how melanin didn't reside into white people, and that they had less of, that they were less of and less compassionate because of the melanin that they lacked of. And also he also made comments of calling them barbaric and savages. First, I seen the 2-minute clip first. I watched it and I was like, wow, like I want to know what was said before and after this 2-minute clip. The time, in real time, of me actually watching the podcast, the interview, I was taken back like, oh wow, so that's what they were talking about when. Okay, so I was putting everything together. After watching it, I felt mad. I was mad because I knew there was a lot of people who were saying stuff about Nick Cannon, him being by anti-Semitic, this and that, but I really want to know what did he said that was anti-Semitic in that podcast, and I listened to the whole thing, and I didn't feel anything that was anti-Semitic that he had said. But with that being said, I am not a Jewish person, I am a black person, so for me to feel an offense of something that wasn't quote-unquote supposed to be offensive, I would have had to miss it anyway. So before I can even record this video, I had reached out to a Jewish friend of mine, and who had no idea none of this stuff was even going on. So I had to catch him up to speed with a few articles with Ice Cube, DeSean Jackson, and Nick Cannon, and the YouTube video. And he was actually fortunate to see the YouTube video before it got taken down too as well. So after he did his research and watched the video, we sat and we talked. When I say we sat and talked, we talked over the phone, and he told me what his concerns were, and his concerns were about the comments that was in the 2-minute clip, even though he watched the whole thing. So my thing is, I didn't want it, and this was my thing with the whole comments. Nick Cannon said what he said. I'm not backing what he said or anything, because that was his words. He said it, right? The platform and the weight that Nick Cannon holds, I wish he would have been more careful of the words that he had used, but he didn't. He chose the words that he did, and even the words that he did use, I felt that weren't anti-Semitic in per se. I feel like they were words that could be hurtful to the person on the other, to the opposing side, or who he is speaking of. But even those words in the time period of what he was speaking were true to the point of the barbaric and the savagery of when these people were living in the Caucasus Mountains, when they were living in cold, dark climates. You know, it was just that time period. I feel like when the 2-minute clip went viral, that people took it as Nick Cannon was speaking to people as of now, and how it wasn't. But with the melanin too being, in a sense, he was talking about in a time period where melanin, you will have to research melanin. I'm not going to go into a whole big thing about melanin and what makes black people, our skin pigment, the way our hair defies gravity and stuff like that. And that's what he was touching on, and saying that the less interaction you are having with the sun, that since you are in this cold and dark, that's how your personality was, and at those times, right, in that time period. And even if you disagree with but that was history, and that's what, nothing that Nick Cannon said was just made up an opinion of his own ideology, and it came out of left field. And I feel that that clip didn't do him justice, because it put him at a disadvantage of what he was trying to say. And if you did watch the whole interview, you will see before he gets on topic about that, and this is something that I had discussions and kind of some conversations with some friends, to the point to where do you get to a point to where if I was to say something about a culture and they're in the wrong, or not even in the wrong, I'm talking about something in history about a certain culture, but that culture now gets mad for me bringing it up and saying that's anti this or that. I don't see it that being fair. I see people getting uncomfortable because of of subject matter is being brought up that they may not be too proud of at that time, or of that time. But I think right now, living in this digital age in 2020, I feel like we all need to have these uncomfortable conversations and stuff for us as a people to move forward. A therapeutic stage, if I should say, a therapeutic stage, get it off your chest, we'll talk about it, and then we can move forward. Because without it, people are still going to be holding these chips on their shoulders and keep thinking, oh, so-and-so always did this, and they never, they never acknowledged it, or they never apologized, or they never try to fix it, or this and that. Why? I mean, I'm not going to say it's a perfect time to do it now, but it's already out in the open. Let's talk about it. Let's get stuff addressed. Because even as I told my friend, how I'd explained to him about if I call somebody out who's Jewish, just like somebody calling somebody black, with the Black Lives Matter movement or stuff like that. I understand we have a lot of allies right now. So my friend was an ally. He felt kind of bad because he felt that, that Nick Cannon was kind of talking bad about him or his people. And he's like, well, I'm for your people, and you kind of just talk down on me. And I wanted to let him know that, I'm sorry that he had felt that way, but I honestly don't feel like Nick Cannon was out there to sit there and to down people. I think he was talking about people in a time period and of their actions of why they may have acted out in a certain way. That's my perspective of what he said. Going back to, I don't want to get to the point to where even any race, if I'm gonna talk about my race for right now, if somebody black does something wrong and a white person calls them out on it, and then the black person doesn't like it, and he goes, wait, no, you just racist, you're racist. That's not right. If you're wrong, you are wrong. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin, but we gotta make sure everybody's getting called out for everything, and handled the same way on an equal playing field. So I don't care what culture you are, wrong is wrong and right is right. If something has happened in history and this is what the facts and stuff that backs up, I mean, that's just what it is. Accountability or what, if the person, at this, I can't tell you how to, I'm not even going to say, I can't tell you how to deal with it if you hear something that you don't like. But we got to get to the point to where we're not saying that you're racist or you're anti-Semitic or you're this or you're that, because if you're just calling out wrongdoings or truth or just speaking in the conversation matter of topic. With the momentum of the way of things are going right now, I kind of figured that the more and more in time it's stuff, I feel like it's still heating up, and I feel like with history and the topics that are popping up and stuff that is trending, it's going to get more hot. It's going to get more hot. As far as the conversations, people are going to get more heated. There's going to be people that are allies that are going to feel played. There's going to be people that's going to be creating more enemies, this and that. I can't speak for every celebrity that goes out and says something and somebody dislikes what they say. But I told my friend, and I just tell people, period, I understand there's going to be white people that agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be white people that don't agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be black people that agree to what I'm saying. There's going to be black people that don't agree to what I'm saying. Believe and stand up for what you know, what is right, and stay with it. And don't do it for the fact, oh, I'm doing this for this people. Just do it because you know that is right. Because there's some, and I told my friend, there may be some black people that don't even want you to go out there and be an ally. But if you know what you're doing is what's right, do what's right. Don't let somebody, a celebrity or something like that, discourage you for standing up for what's right. I don't know how else to put that. I was trying to think of a clever way. Do what's right. Do what's right for you and stand up for what's right. But you're going to hear things that you're not going to like, that may be on the side of what you're standing on. But it doesn't define that's what you are. Okay? Again, I feel maybe Nick Cannon could have addressed it and put a stamp on what he was saying at a time period, but I feel like he kind of did too. So it's just the way, it was a video that put him at a disadvantage because the way they clipped it in the 2 minutes. They didn't get to see the part where they were talking about black people. So we're going to call them racist against black people too. We're going to say Nick Cannon, Professor Griff is anti-black, y'all didn't see that clip. You didn't see the clip where he's talking about black people. You didn't see the clip where he was saying how people try to label other people being anti-Semitic for calling them out on this stuff that's, it's just, if it's wrong or on true facts. But then again, we as a people too, and black people, gotta realize we're not the only race that can be offended by certain comments too as well. No matter if we feel that if our history or our stain in America was worse than other cultures or not. So I will say that, not saying that that's what was said as far as Nick Cannon's spot, but just in the future and anything, be aware of other people's feelings and cultures and stuff like that as well. That being said, I don't even want to make this podcast long. I just wanted to get that off my chest because that was something that was very hot. It was a subject that I was talking about before Nick Cannon. Stuff went viral. We still got a long way to go, people, as a people. For real. But also, this is stories that need to be talked about, but these ain't priority stories. Again, the COVID and the police reform, those are priority stories. Don't get caught up and spend too much energy on stories like this. It's good to talk about, but we need to move on and stay focused on what's important right now. And stuff like this, I feel like splits up our people and splits up the allies and stuff like that. So I did want to talk about this because of that reasoning. But with that being said, you guys be safe. Wash your hands. Mask up. Be safe, y'all. Subscribe and like this channel. Please hit that like button so this video can go up in the searches when people search anything that's similar to the title of this video, okay? All right, you guys take care. Peace.